welcome to the stage the founders of the Monarch Club, Erika and Taylor.
So, hola, mamacitas in business. We are very excited and honored to be in front of you. You look gorgeous, all of you. Talking about our passion and our purpose. Again, I'm Erika Rivera Jaramillo. You did great with my last name is. And this is my sister, friend, beautiful business partner, and partner in crime as well, Taylor Miller-Goulait. So before we start, I would like us to do a visualization. So I'm gonna ask you, if you feel comfortable, just if you feel comfortable, to close your eyes so we can be very present and we can follow my voice and my guidance. So I want you to think and go back to a person that has impacted your life in a beautiful and positive way. This person believed in you when you didn't believe in yourself. This person always is inspiring you, motivating you. Perhaps this person is a teacher, a coach, a friend, a family member, your partner. Think about how this person is making you feel. Think about the words they say to you. Think about how they make you feel right now in their presence. Yes, now I want you to imagine yourself doing that, having that impact in someone else. Keep imagining that. Think about that person. Think about you inspiring them, believing in them when they don't believe in themselves, in their potential. Maybe they're next to you. Think about how you're making them feel with your words and with your actions. I'm pretty sure you're doing it right now. But imagine that feeling of making someone to feel special. Open your eyes. The people that you thought about it, and you imagine yourself have in common is that they are leaders. Perhaps without titles, job titles, but let's not confuse managers and leaders. Managers, they manage process. Leaders lead people, and they don't always need that title. And everybody in this room have the power to be leaders with everybody they get in touch with. Perhaps in their work, in their business, with their families, in the communities. Here in this networking event, you can do it. And perhaps you don't think that and you haven't believed in that power because, raise your hand, how many of you have been told that you're too empathetic, too sensitive, too emotional? Okay, lower your hand. How many of you have been told that you're too much, too loud? I certainly am. Too much. You have to tone it down. How many of you? Yes, I see your hand. No. How many of you have been told that you're too direct, too demanding? You have unrealistic expectations. As women, thank you. As women, we are too much or not enough. And we are here to tell you that you're more than enough. You're right. You're perfect. So we are going to walk you through our leadership philosophy. In Monarch Coaching, we have a philosophy called the Three-Legged Stool. And the first leg is one of the most popular female traits, and that's empathy.
Yes. So when Erika said to raise your hand if you're feeling too empathetic, I could have raised both hands and both legs because I'm an incredibly empathetic person. But I'm going to take you guys a little bit back on my career history. So I started, like Rocky said, I started leading retail stores at the age of 18. And I was leading women that were in their 50s and 60s, so it was a very interesting dynamic. But throughout that entire career, I was always told, you're too soft, you're too empathetic, you're too accommodating to everybody. you're not tough enough to give tough feedback. And so I took that to heart as, I'm not cut out for leadership. I'm too soft to be a leader. And fast forward a few years later, I exited retail. And if you're in retail, you know that that was like a whew, weekends off, holidays off. That was amazing. But I got into the corporate world. And it was honestly, surprisingly, a culture shock at this organization because I was being asked by my own leaders about me. They wanted to know about me. They were curious. They wanted to hear what I had feedback on about the processes and how I was doing in my role, and they were listening to what I had to say. And this was something that was very foreign to me at the time because in my retail career, this never happened. I never had that opportunity to share feedback or even receive feedback in a way that was, meaningful to me. So I'm going through this career, and all of these leaders are just so inspiring to me. And I realize the curiosity, the listening, the genuine care is all empathy, right? And that empathy was not my weakness in my retail career. That was my superpower. And so I got into leadership in this new company, and I started leading teams with curiosity. I started leading them and listening to them. And I started to genuinely care. I got to know them. I genuinely cared about the people that I worked with. And those teams, guess what? They thrived. They were doing so amazing. Side note, when I was 22, I was literally demoted, sent to another store and I got written up because on the paper it said I cared too much about my employees. I kid you not. They were like, you care too much, you're too soft, you can't give direct enough feedback. So that just blows my mind. But, so in this new role, I was able to see that empathy was not my weakness. It was my superpower. So I want you all to take a second to think, how has empathy been your superpower? Take a second to think, when was a time where maybe you gave someone space to share while you were at work? Maybe it wasn't like the best time, but they needed you. Or maybe you were curious about someone because they made a mistake, and instead of just assuming they were not competent or didn't know, you asked questions instead. So think about that time where your empathy made you a better mother, a better teacher, a better friend. And now, I want you to humble brag to the person next to you about that time that you just thought about. So I'm going to give you all 2 minutes total. So for 1 minute, first person share that humble brag of your empathy, and then I'll call time, and then the second minute you'll switch. All right? Okay. If you can hear me, give me 2 snaps. If you can hear me, give me 2 snaps. One more time. All right. Thank you guys so much for sharing. We appreciate that. As we can see, we probably just heard some amazing stories of empathy and how we were empathetic superheroes. And empathy, especially as women, is very innate in us. We're very nurturing, you're motherly. It's just a part of our being as women. And that is something that makes you authentic and authentically you.
Yes, and that's the second leg of our stool, authenticity. And now, a lot of people, when they see people on the stage, they think, they're so confident because they're able to talk to an audience. I'm also a professional dancer, so I'm used to be on the stage and dancing and teaching in front of people. But let me tell you, this is not always like that. It hasn't been always like that, especially speaking in English. So I was born in Colombia. I spent all my 20s in South Korea. So I learned my English was okay. So English, Korean, Spanish, a mix of everything. As long as I was communicating, that was perfect. Then I moved 6 years ago here to Michigan. And I realized that my lack of English was big. Yes, especially because I started working in a big organization in a professional setting, so my English wasn't in that level just yet. I wanted so bad to fit in and to blend in. Even saying my name when I say Erika, right away people is like, oh, where are you from? Now I'm like, I'm from Colombia. Before I was like, I'm from Colombia. Like, I didn't want people to tell that I didn't have proper English, or that my pronunciation was different. And it wasn't until powerful leaders showed me and helped me realize that my uniqueness was my gift. This is how people connect with you. This is how people relate to you with your vulnerabilities, with being your imperfect self, quote unquote. When I started relating with my team members about how again, vulnerable with my English, making mistakes, making fun of myself as well, and just trying to be a great leader, develop myself for them and for myself without trying to be a perfect human. Rocky saying we cannot be perfect. We don't want to be perfect. Nobody can relate to perfect people. People can relate to you, how beautiful and imperfect you are, and with your vulnerabilities. Then I found my power through that. People can relate to me because they know that I'm self-conscious about my English. And looking at me, I'm talking in front of all of you. Just in English, every day. That's what I do, right? Right now, I want you to think, because we're Monarch Coaching, we do a lot of self-reflections, that's how we learn. I want you to think about one thing that makes you self-conscious. One thing that you always want to fix and change and try again. What things that you want to hide from people? What is that thing that makes you so self-conscious and different? We all have it. Think about it. I share mine. When I was talking to people, I was afraid that they weren't going to take me seriously because of my accent or my lack of English or perfect English. That's what I thought. That was my mindset. What is the thing that you tell sometimes unfortunately every day? That doesn't make you enough. Now, let's flip the script. Let's utilize that thing that makes you so unique and so different to our power. To be our power. To help us to relate with others. What we always, when we approach someone, I'm like, I'm the best at doing this, I'm the best doing this, I'm a professional, I'm teen. But I'm like, I struggle with this. This is my vulnerability, how well we connect. If we would do that as well. This is your superpower. And we all have the power, and that's like the biggest thing, to actually hold ourselves accountable to be our true selves, so we make a space for others to be themselves as well.
Yes, and that accountability is the third leg of this three-legged stool. So we have empathy, authenticity, and accountability. And I am an empathetic person, and I'm 9 times out of 10 pretty authentically me, unless you catch me on a weird day. But I struggled for a very long time with accountability. And that is looking like, giving people feedback, coaching people. And as a leader, that's not ideal. You have to do that. You've got to give people tough feedback. You have to coach people on how they're doing. But for the longest time, I came from my background in retail, unfortunately, it was more that if I was getting coached on something, I was being punished. And so I equated holding someone accountable with punishing them, which is so not true, but that's what I thought. So for the longest time, when people would say you're not tough enough to give feedback, I was like, you're right, I'm not tough enough. So, and it's when I would receive feedback or coaching, it was very direct, and sometimes very unkind or very aggressive. And so I felt in order for me to give feedback or coach someone, I had to be direct and aggressive and unkind, and that was not authentically who I was at all. So, again, fast forward into this new career that I was in, and I started being held accountable by my leaders in a way that made me feel empowered, and a way that made me feel like I'm not failing, I'm learning. And I started to realize, slowly but surely, that as I'm getting coached, you can actually coach somebody and be direct with someone and do that with empathy and kindness. You can be honest, but you don't have to be brutally honest. No one likes anyone, I'm just gonna say it, no one likes anyone that's brutally honest. You can be honest and kind. You can be supportive of someone who has an opportunity to improve in an area. So there is possibility to balance empathy and accountability and be your authentic self. So, as women, I think personally, and from our own experiences with helping and coaching women too, accountability is tough. It's really hard to hold other people accountable, and it's really hard to hold ourselves accountable. How many of you have a goal that you've had on your list forever and you just have never even, raise them high, we know, I got it too. Because we don't hold ourselves accountable. A lot of it, we don't have time, we're mothers, we're leaders, we're coaches, we do all these things, but we need to hold ourselves accountable. So we're gonna help you with that as we wrap this up. So I am going to ask you to do 2 things real quick. First is gonna be grab your phone, get your phone out, we know you got it. And there's gonna be a flyer in your goodie bag that looks like this. She's my Vanna White, thank you. Da, 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 da. It says it's a Monarch Coaching flyer. And if you don't have one, we did run out, so please find someone that does have one of them. What I would like you to do is please scan our Instagram QR code that's on that flyer. Give us a follow. But also, DM us. Send us a DM that says transform, and we are gonna help you help yourselves be accountable, and we're gonna give you a free Smarter Goals template so you can start actually achieving those goals that you have set that you have not yet accomplished. So this is our gift to you. So when you message us on Instagram, the word transform, tomorrow we'll send out our Smarter Goals template. And this is an amazing template that's really just made to help you hold yourself accountable so that you can achieve those things that you really want to achieve. Giving you space to do this now, but
Yes, just the word transform. And this is actually that we use in our trainings. We have a training that is also in our flyer, the Transformative series. So if you want to check it out and talk with us about what it is, we would love to. But while you do that, we just want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for letting us share. Thank you so much for letting us talk about our purpose and our passion. Yes, remember that you have the power to be the leader that you always wanted. Let's be that. We need better leaders, more leaders like you. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys.